NAC is back, baby. NAC is back.
NAC is back.
We're back, baby. We're back.
We're back with
our very first guest, Mr. Alex Masmej.
Gem.
Horns. What's up, Masmej?
We should get horns.
Good morning.
This would be pretty
Morning.
sick if we had horns.
Filling in for Mr. Agent Chevy, who unfortunately cannot be with us today, but he's still here in our hearts and our heads. He will be back with us next episode. But in the meantime, we have Alex Masmej, the man who has been hot on the trail of all the latest app launches. This guy has been feeding me alpha. And to be honest with you, for a long time there, I didn't really believe in Masmej's alpha. I would get it from this guy, and he would say, "Oh, you have to get in now. You have to get in now. This thing's going to go to $1 billion." And it would not, in fact, go to $1 billion. But recently, over the last couple of weeks, Masmej has given me a couple suggestions that have done very well. So I have to give credit where credit is due. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thank you, Coop. Hopefully the alpha continues, or the meta continues with app coins and stuff like that. Yeah,
Man,
it's very excited to be here.
He's got the hot hand.
He's
right
here.
now.
Well, if there's two things that we like to talk about on this podcast, number one is products, and number two is tokens. And so when you get a product and you launch a token around it, it's right up our alley, baby.
P's and
it's right up
T's.
our alley.
What did you call that? Fees and what?
P's and T's. Products
P's
and
and
tokens.
T's.
P's and
Products
T's.
tokens. Products and tokens. Honestly, it's been really interesting though. I think with like Vine and Jelly and all these new startup coins, app coins. I think it's just like boomer take, but it's the same shit, different toilet every single time.
Mhm.
But people are now being more loose about launching a coin around whatever product they're building.
Well, the Jelly guy deleted all his tweets, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
Sam Lesson?
That's what I saw. That's what I saw on my timeline, unless people are making it seem like he did. But on my timeline, they said like he started to delete his
Wow.
tweets, and now he's like not fully backing the token. I mean, I think the price like crashed
No way.
It went from
pretty hard.
from
It
250
ran to
to
200. It seems like of the two, Vine is probably more legit. Like that guy's actually trying to like make a product and incorporate it into they're both making products. One of them I think might be more genuine about incorporating it. What's Jelly at?
Jelly product is live. I tried it.
Right, but I don't
think
know if
for
they're
me-
serious about the token part.
Right.
Jelly
was
is
gonna-
down to 50. 53.
Damn. I was going to say for me, I think there's a difference between the Vine and Jellies of the world. And then what Alex specifically put me onto was Yapster and Clout. And I think that both of those apps are very heavily oriented around their tokens, where the difference with something like Vine and Jelly is that it's almost like future belief in what this product can become. And obviously there's still some of that with, you know, the Yapster and Clouts of the world, but at least those apps are like, you know, very integrated token products from day one. So Lucas, why don't you read out what our good friend Nick Tomano had to say about this?
Nick?
Yeah, Nick overall seems pretty cautious right now about this. The through line here is like there's an elite class that sees crypto solely as a way to extract, and they're just out of touch with the normal people. To be honest, I was AFK last week skiing in France, so I kind of missed this whole Jelly thing.
Tough life for Lucas.
I know, tough
Tough
life
life.
for me, to be honest. So I'm really just getting caught
Lucas
up
is an
on-
amazing skier, by the way.
I've
So I've
heard that
heard.
once or twice.
Yeah, supposedly competitive.
That's the rumor around town.
Yeah.
But I miss like a lot of this stuff around like Jelly and Vine, and I think Clout.me, which we'll talk about as well. But it just seems like what was that?
Nothing. Keep going.
It just seems like we're hitting a little bit of a stride or like a quick meta right now, or a hot meta around creator coins and startup coins / app coins as a whole. And I don't really know how to feel about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little lost.
I think the meta though is at like it's at a critical point because Clout launched, they're not getting the other tokens out fast enough. This Jelly token launched, now the guy's deleting tweets and the thing is down to 50 and ran to 200. So I think there's a lot of I don't know if we have a real meta that's about to start, or we have another one of these classic like new crypto cycle 72-hour metas.
Yeah.
I don't know what's everybody's take. Is it a real meta or is it a 72-hour meta?
When I
Try like a
last
24-hour meta.
Yeah,
24-hour meta, yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, last episode, we were just talking about AI agents. We were on the brink of the AI breakout, and we have completely nuked since then. And it's in the back.
Hey.
Whoa.
So what you're saying is we called the top on this podcast, and by called the top, you
do,
mean
like-
that we talked really bullishly about it, and then it went down tremendously after.
Correct. That is exactly what happens.
Wow, look
Madman,
at us.
you're the
Spilling it to the
OG
masses.
creator token
Right.
guy.
Oh, he'll tell you about that. Don't you worry.
New meta, new meta, or washed.
I think it's definitely a new meta. Like ICOs are coming back. I think Nick is a bit cynical in his tweet. Yeah, like I guess a lot of rules from traditional venture investing are going to be applied. Like, oh, maybe you need vesting, otherwise the VVV guys dumb straight away. Like, there's some rules in place to make it more sustainable, but I think with the new Trump administration in the US, it is safe again to do equity stuff. And honestly, the Jelly Jelly is very interesting because it's done by VCs who could have raised tens of millions. And so it's very interesting that honestly, the market on Solana found a price that's roughly the same as they would have raised. They would have definitely raised at like 250 million. And that's like the top of that coin. So the market is actually very efficient.
You think Jelly Jelly would have raised at 250 million?
Of course, dude. It's Sam Lesson. It's stars in Silicon Valley. I don't know him personally, but like I've seen him a lot from online. And I think Jelly Jelly is more like an equity coin, which basically before Trump was impossible to do in the US. You would get sued. And I think they just probably operated with the frame of it's going to be easier now. We'll be able to register now. And we have probably contacts in DC because they're very important people in Silicon Valley that are telling us that it's safe. And the app is live. I don't know if Jelly Jelly is going to take off, but it's basically like VC is open to everybody right now. Like, so I think this meta is definitely going to last. But like everything in crypto, most things are trash because crypto is open to anyone. And so that's the flip side. There's going to be bad things. But I think this thing about creating company equity tokens, like that's definitely happening. And it's so much easier. Like, do you want to fundraise and talk to so many people, get so many no's? Or you want to go on Echo? Like there's some, I won't say the founders, but there's founders on Echo who couldn't raise with traditional VC, the platform by Kobe to raise. And instantly they can raise a tiny round on Echo of like 500K, 600K. It's super easy to fill. And so this alternative is so
Where
much
have
better.
we seen that before? Lukey, let's take it. Are we about to get back in the white paper business, buddy?
Dude, man,
Is that what's going
$500
down?
for a
I do
white
think,
paper.
I don't know. I'm with
it up.
Alex. I think it's a little different this time when we're talking about like the platforms like Echo, but the Jelly Jelly and Vine pumps, I don't know if those are sustainable.
Well, also the difference here is that it's not like they can just sell all of their token. The team doesn't sell the tokens to like fund operations for the company. They just hold super illiquid bags, and if you sell it, you just tank the token. And so you're basically surviving off of trading fees, which to my understanding you're not even getting on these pump fund tokens that have like $1 billion in swap volume. So I guess for me, it's like, if you're like on the core team of one of these products and you can't actually like fund the company because you have like all of these tokens that are largely liquid, then I actually don't think it's like a one-to-one replacement for fundraising right now.
But I think just like Elon Musk does not sell Tesla stocks, right? Like he takes a loan and he puts Tesla stock as a collateral. The same is going to happen here. There's going to be some sort of
it's fucking liquidated. You're jelly founders and you're taking out a loan on your.
Yeah, but it will be like,
Jelly coins on
it will
day
be a
one.
very healthy margin. But basically, I think you're going to they can at least take out like 10 million or 20 million Vine, like at least. Without saying the Vine token just as collateral, there's definitely going to be someone on the other side of that trade.
You think somebody would be able to post their percentage of, let's say they have 10%. So what is that? 25 million? What's the thing at? 250?
Jelly's at 50.
Oh, Jelly's at 50. So let's say they have 5 million. I don't know who's gonna give them collateral on like something that just ran to 200 and then dropped back to 50.
All right. Maybe not Jelly Jelly. Like that's a. But I
No,
would say
my-
like
I
Vine.
think, yeah, maybe.
take-
I think that the real it's not as like sexy right now because not everybody just buys into them. What were you about to say, Lucas?
Yeah, let's give Lucas the stage for a second here.
Yeah, let me
Lucas.
get the stage
Lucas,
here.
what do
for
you
a
have to
second.
say?
Here's what I have to say, Cooper. Thank you for clearing the floor
You're
for
welcome,
me.
buddy.
I think this rather than just selling it like via a loan or like taking out a loan, against the collateral, which I think is going to be very difficult for the long tail, it's probably more likely that you are just selling to private investors. And I think the big difference here that I like is that it
OTC.
goes to the community first, right? The community has the first dibs. You have 70% or whatever. It's majority liquid. And now, once there's a valuation, you can sell to investors OTC with vesting schedules and all that.
I like
And I think that'll be probably the model
It's
that
the DGen
people
playbook.
adopt, unless we start getting into like Rari pools again and everyone can get the long tail listed.
Baby.
And we have Terra Luna seeding everyone with liquidity to borrow dollars that go to zero.
I have a question with the model you just laid out, just
Sure.
asking for a friend. What about like companies that raised in 2021, 2022,
Still same
2020?
thing.
Same model?
I
How
think
does
you're sniping, 30% of the supply with the launch, reserving 20% of it to existing investors, and then maybe you have another 5% option that you're selling in like a new round, and the remaining 5% or 10% or whatever it is.
Scary.
Why is that scary? What's different?
I think he said Gary.
No, I said scary.
Oh, scary. Why scary?
Why?
Because if you're a team that raised venture capital at a predefined post-money valuation and you fair launch your token on Pump Fund, you don't know where it's going to go. And if it doesn't trade at the expectation that you have, you're basically saying fuck you to all of the traditional coin launch models, which I actually think there is some positivities here. But traditionally speaking, you're hiring market makers, you're going out to exchanges, and you're basically securing some sort of ballpark minimum FDV that you're launching at that least gives you some semblance of knowing, hey, this is where this token is likely going to open at range wise. Versus on this Pump Fund style launches, there's a lot of benefits what you said about the community getting in first. But what I've talked to some of my friends about is that if you go and you raise venture capital and then you just launch your token on Pump Fund, people can just snipe that thing at 70K cap. And if I'm an investor in that company and some rando on the street just sniped this token at a 70K market cap when I've been bag holding as a investor for 3 years, I'm low-key going to be pissed.
Yep. I think there's a friction here.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's why, going back to the other two products that I talked about, whether it was Yapster or Clout, I do think that they're in a slightly different ballpark here, because at least with those ones, there's some similarities with the Vines and the Jellies of the world, but at least it kind of feels like the first tokens are not the company tokens. There's tokens within that product, like the Yapster token, which people are saying is the official token because it was the first one, or Pasternak, which people are giving a proxy to the official token. But at least those products are still reserving the ability to say like, oh no, this is the official token, after they kind of test run getting some like, more beta tokens out into the world, for lack of a better term. So that's at least something that I've been finding pretty interesting.
I also think that there's probably room for more flexibility on like what market cap you're launching at on these pumped up fund platforms, and I'm surprised like people haven't done that.
What do you mean?
So you have a little.
The Cloud team is doing this right now, actually.
Yeah.
They're gonna raise the cap because for pre-sales, it's $8,000, and so it starts 50-50. So the market cap is $16,000, which is way too low. So pre-sale people like Coop and I are making more money, and the snipers also. So I think now they're about to raise the floor dramatically, like maybe a couple of 100K market cap. I don't know exactly what they're gonna set.
Imran's pumping, Alex. We're up 60% on the morning.
Nice.
Which one?
Imran, the second.
The second.
Oh, Imran. I thought Imran already launched.
Yeah,
no, it did, but I'm saying it dumped really hard. Now it's pumping a little bit.
You're back.
The difference, though, Alex, is that the Clout tokens aren't Pump Fund tokens.
Nope.
For the Clout
just like Yapster.
Yeah.
I'm a noob. Can you just buy these on Radium, or do you have to go specifically through the app in order?
They're on Radium. The pre-sale is only on the Clout app, but you can buy them. You can buy Imran and Ben Pasternak, the two available tokens, on Radium.
Imran is a guy from Good Game Podcast and the Lion Style.
Yep.
Nice.
And
We got
investor.
some hot pre-sales coming down the pipeline on Clout.
Hey.
A lot of clout coming down.
Here's
The number of people
my
who came back to me saying like, "Can I get listed on Clout?" is insane. I don't even work at Clout. I have not invested in Clout. Like, I know the
NFA.
Clout team, but all the like music NFT people, like insane. Like the inbound they had is crazy.
I want to hear from.
Did they have any crypto people?
Bobby
I
Shmurda,
think,
baby.
Yep.
Bobby Shmurda.
Yep. Bobby
And then
Shmurda,
the
but
guy,
the
the
information
founder
on
of
that,
Vine too, Russ. And then they had like Alexis Ohanahan from Reddit.
Really?
Nikita
Who's
Bier
kinda-
also.
Alexis is like semi-crypto.
Yeah,
Nikita
Nikita
Bier.
Bier, semi-crypto.
All right. My question is here, Alex. Why is this different? Why are these creator coins different than really anything else? You asked me. Look, you're one of the people that have launched the first or one of the first creator coins. We went through this last cycle with like Roll. We have multiple other iterations across like Friend Tech. You now have Tribe on Solana, which is effectively that. I think Stacks also launched creator coins. Moxie, I think, is also doing something, which is more of a Farcaster forward one. You have Clanker. Like, why is this going to succeed this time? I feel like we go through this iteration at least 3 or 4 times a cycle, and people always try these creator coins. And yeah, why do you think this is different with Clout.me or really just this cycle as a whole?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, so this idea has always been tried because it's very viral. Like, it's very clickbait to say like I'm tokenizing someone. It's very easy to understand. So you ask succeed. If you mean long term, I don't think we cracked it yet. Like, if there's no fundamentals, if there's no long term attention to the coin, it's not going to work. I think the difference with Cloud is the crypto infra and tech has gone better and easier to use, and they've done a native mobile app on the App Store that's very neat and looks like Cash App, so people are already familiar with the UI. And then on top of that,
easy to buy, basically.
Easy to buy. They have also an anti-whale mechanism. So basically, you can at most put $80 in the pre-sale of $8,000. So basically, you're forcing at least 100 holders on every coin. That's also pretty clever. That's most of why Cloud is great. It's easy. It's a Robinhood for people, and it's very easy to understand. And honestly, right now, I think they have to deal more with the tokenomics because, as we said, like, you know, if the market cap is too low, it gets sniped, it gets botted, early buyers sell. You could also set the market cap really high. I think, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Trump token was set at around 600 million. There was more liquidity at 600 million. So, like, the run up from 0 to 600, it was actually hard to sell. And so you can actually like engineer liquidity pools, and it's kind of like a technical DeFi problem. And I think they need to crack that because it's really difficult to know. And because they have no fundamentals and it's purely like the attention economy, it's really hard to price these things. And so, yeah, so is it going to succeed, as you said? Probably not long term unless there's a huge change in the app. But I think they've definitely built the best mobile app launcher so far.
I have some thoughts here.
Let's hear it, Coop. What kind of thoughts you got? What's going on in that brain?
My thoughts are that simple to buy should not be understated. I think we see this with products like Moonshot, where easy access to new tokens is something that's very valuable. I do agree that in the absence of there being any product utility or any way that these creators can actually use these tokens, that they're very short-lived in the, let's call it the next like 1 to 2 months. However, I will say that the differentiating factor of Clout compared to some of these other apps is that the people launching tokens on Clout currently are not ones who have previously launched tokens in past cycles or on past products. And so if you look at someone like a Nikita Bier, if you look at someone like a Base 16Z, look at someone like a Russ, for example, I think there's still some speculation around what the perceived value of a brand is that's not like deeply rooted in crypto or that hasn't previously launched on a friend tech or on these other apps that you talked about. So I just think that there's like a positive EV trade to be made there. I'm on the same page with Alex that right now these things have like 48-hour lifespans and you're basically just trading the fucking launch and then trying to get out before it dumps. But that's pretty much everything else we're seeing on Solana right now, as we just highlighted with Jelly and Vine and etc. So I don't think that there's a very different mindset to trading these things and some of those other coins that we're seeing. But I think that in the short term, it is moving the needle forward in terms of just normalizing it more and more each cycle. And I think it's going to take 5, 10, 15 more of these tries until we finally get to a point where creators are like, oh, I have a token and that's not the end of the world for me. Because at least on my end, when I talk to artists about the idea of artist token, they're fucking petrified of it. Like, they don't want to go anywhere near it. They're like, absolutely not. I would never do that. Like, it feels like they would never, ever be down to do that. And so the result is you see all of these B tier and C tier celebrities being the ones that are launching and rugging these tokens because they need capital or status that they no longer have. And so I think for me, the question is, how do you actually get someone who is currently en vogue or someone who is currently popular or doing well or has high status to really stand behind their token in a way that's not just an obvious pump and dump, but something that can feel more sustainable over a longer time horizon?
A lot of this depends on the supply side of creators being high enough and being quality enough. And what, similar to what Cooper just said, like, also, like, we talk to a lot of artists and people who are more in creative industries. A lot of them don't want a financial instrument attached to their personality and value. So the big question is here is like, do we actually believe on a long enough time horizon that even 25 to 50% of creators, quality creators, will want to financialize themselves? Because it kind of, in some ways, depends
100%. It's like everyone having an
in the form
Instagram
of a
account.
token.
That's how I view it.
Alex,
Well, I
it
would say
changed
it's
your
not like
life,
everyone
right?
having an Instagram account. It's like everyone having a brand account or a creator account.
Maybe
where,
a
like,
Twitch
anyone
account.
can have anyone can have like an Instagram account, but there's a difference between you being like Joe Schmo posting a picture of your breakfast in the morning and then someone who's like, sponsored ad, really high quality edits, like Instagram reels, TikToks every day, like link in bio type beat. So verified on Instagram type beat. So I think that's how I see it in my mind, is like, if you are an early adopter of like what being verified on Instagram would look like in like 2008, that's the equivalent of launching a token today, where from the outside, it's still cringe in a lot of ways, but I think that over time it'll become more normalized and the benefits you get for having the token will be more outsized than not having one as someone of status.
Just for the record, I onboarded. No, you can't even see it. Damn, can't even see
Nice.
it. But I onboarded to Clout during this.
Well, it's
And
great because you actually can't buy anything in the app, so
It's
everything's
sold
sold out.
Yep.
everything's sold out. So I just went
Every
through that
pre-sale
flow
sold out.
for no. Okay, I thought overall that was a pretty good onboarding flow for the most part.
Did
Pretty
you
solid.
deposit Sol or did you buy Sol with a credit card?
I have not funded the account yet, mainly because I just learned that I actually can't buy anything on the app. So no point right now. So they just lost some dollars. Clout.
I think you should actually buy a lot of Imran. NFA. I think you should I think you should full port into Imran right now.
Yeah, I
What
feel
is
like
the market
Imran, like,
cap? Let's think about this. What is the market cap going to be by the time that this episode gets released?
Well, it's at 350K as we're
it's at
recording right now.
350K. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, what Cooper said is true. Like, I think a lot of things start as toys and like get normalized over time. And even myself, I can see it as a founder. Like, I think probably if you asked me 18 months ago, I would say like meme coins are kind of dirty and bad and not good. And I think the entire industry is just like, you see Jesse Pollack, who was against meme coins, and now he's more embracing meme coins. And so the thing is going to happen for personal tokens. Like, I was terrified when I was launching it. I thought it was kind of weird.
Wait, pull the article back up, Lucas. Let's look at that young whippersnapper.
This man was
pioneer.
Same for Ben Pasternak. I think when he launched Pasternak, he was a bit nervous. Like, I don't see like the thing. If you normalize it and everyone has one, it probably will like dissipates a little bit the shame. But there is a real shame in doing this. I knew I was getting low status.
Crazy line. What motivates to sell yourself?
My favorite part of the article was where it just said Frenchman. I think the person who wrote this just wanted to say Frenchman.
Yeah.
I do think one of the interesting parts here is that like you almost have multiple tokens. Like this is like the Alex token circa 2021, but now Alex is on Clout and he has like Masmej, which is like a different iteration of the exact same shit.
Season 2.
Like, season 2 run it back type beat.
You just
Also,
get no
shout out
governance
Rocket
power
Protocol.
on this one.
Do
Yeah, I
we
mean, I would
think-
say actually go ahead, David. You go first.
I have another question. Do we think like TV shows will launch tokens?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
that's kind of what Mad
YouTube channels,
Realities
TV
did.
shows. Yeah.
That's actually
what,
maybe that's what I'm thinking right now for a new app, which is maybe you want to call it like a channel coin or
Mhm.
like an account coin. So you like, remove. I feel like in crypto, launching a coin is shameful no matter what. And
Yep.
so you want to say the AI did it, or you want to say an app did it, like Yapster did my meme. It's not me, it's the Yapster app. Like
Yep.
if you can remove the accountability, that is a plus. And so I think definitely you want to say, hey, this is like my app coin. This is
Right.
like my Yapster coin or my cloud coin, but not myself.
Yeah.
Although it's a funny meme, like buying and selling people, like it kind of goes clickbait. I think it's easier for the artist to digest.
Well, I think that the North Star is that someone wants a token that represents exposure to everything that a creator does. But in the short term, it's like a creator has an Instagram account, they have a YouTube channel, they have a Twitter account, they have a TikTok, etc. And their followers are unique to those specific platforms. And in a lot of ways, their status is unique to those platforms. So I guess that's the way that I see it too, is like your clout token is specifically tied to your clout account. And then if you were to launch a 10K token, let's call it, that would be your token on 10K. And then I think, as I pointed out on Twitter, I think it then becomes the job of the application to make that token valuable inside of their product and inside of their ecosystem, because then you remove the need for the creator to have to go hire a dev team, launch a site, launch a Telegram channel, launch utility, do all these other things that I think are almost secondary and not natural to many of the creators that would be the most, beneficial creators to launch on these platforms.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I'd add to this is like it's honestly never really about utility, and it's all about just attention as a whole. And the utility
Yep.
piece is more of the cherry on top, or like the
Yep.
kind of the fuel on the fire. So I think no matter what, if these creator coins, regardless of the app, can't pull attention, like it's fucked anyways. And I think it's up to maybe the app to figure out what that virality loop is as a whole. But I think you brought up something really interesting, Cooper. You mentioned this new app called 10K.world. Alex, what can you tell us about that?
What do you
What's
know
going
about
on there?
that,
What do you
Matt?
know
What's
about
that? What's 10K?
Sure. Well, in short, 10K is yet another try at crypto TikTok. And we have many learnings as a team because we've been building Drakula, which was already crypto TikTok to some extent. And happy to give a brief TLDR on this. But I guess like the problems of Drakula was one. The problems of Drakula was one, like there was not enough coin holders of like creators on Drakula. So like every creator has one coin when we launched last year. But it's tokenomics. We can talk more in details, but it was a bit liquid. There was not many people able to buy it. And now I think with Solana, we see like so many tools to be able to trade and stuff, and it's exciting. And two, I think the video feed was really bad. Like I think the day we blew up, I think on day one we had like 40,000 users come in the site.
Wow.
And we had rankings by like Farcaster followers.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing to know about Farcaster followers ranking is like it's pretty much DWR, the founder, and then Ted. So you would see one video of Dan Romero saying, "Hey, congrats, Alex, just launched the app." 70,000 views, and then it's only TED videos. And so people actually called it like TED Talk because it was literally a TikTok with just TED videos. And so we knew we were never going to get to like TikTok quality in terms of the AI algo that's literally like Chinese cocaine. But like, yeah, that was also a big problem. So the two problems is one, not enough coin holders. Two, we need to fix the feed in some way. Although I would say, like, as a company perspective, like from a company perspective, we earned roughly $1 million from the couple launches last year. So we actually are break even, which is cool because we raised VC money a long time ago.
That's awesome.
And so actually it's nice because, yeah, we have another try. Thank you. And so now 10K. So the goal of 10K is we want to maximize the number of holders of a coin. So the concept is every creator has one coin. Once again, creator tokens, roll it back. The coin has a pre-sale that you can buy into. Once you reach $10,000, the pre-sale becomes a coin traded. And the cool thing is that means you can start posting videos. You cannot until your pre-sale is done. So we have a curation by the markets. If the public wants to post your video, that's fine. And then there's another twist, which is kind of fun. Every video you will do, there will be like a claim to get a bit of the token the first 24 hours distributed amongst people. So in short, we also have a watch to earn feature, pretty much, where basically the next 100 videos, the coin has a billion supply. Every video is a 0.1% airdrop. So like 1 million tokens get airdropped. And so let's say we launch and we don't get many users. It's going to be big airdrops. If we launch and there's a lot of users, it's going to be a very thin airdrop spreading the token ownership. And that's going to be, I think, as of today, we may change, but it's going to be 10% of the supply. But so the goal is we do a creator coin. The creator coin is a filter of quality on what gets in the feed. And we reserve a tiny portion to incentivize engagement, to incentivize creators to post videos, because every post is an airdrop. An airdrop is very good in terms of PR. Like you'll never, be mad if the airdrop is only $1 or less because you spent nothing. But there will still be some capital up front because of the pre-sale. And so anyway, that's the rough concept as of right now. So it's like creator tokens, watch to earn, and that's the TLDR. I don't know if you have feedback. I'd love to hear it.
I have a question. Do I need to hold a token? Okay, you're the creator. I got into your pre-sale. It's now live. You post a video. Do I need to hold? Basically, every time you post a video, and I have your token, I get some of that airdrop.
Yeah. If you're there the first 24 hours, there will be like a claim button to claim it.
But what
Cool.
David's saying is you don't have to hold the creator's token to be able to get that airdrop. Like you can just watch it within the first 24 hours to earn it. And then what I was going to add on is that I think that there should be a part of the supply that goes directly to the creator token holders, regardless of whether or not they are actually present to watch that video in the first 24 hours.
Interesting. So if you're a holder, you will just get more airdrops every video?
Constant airdrops.
Another
Maybe
thing,
it's staked or something like that, but I think to David's point, it's like the channel token, which is what we were alluding to earlier, represents exposure to all of the videos, right? And if I'm not like terminally online and I miss one of your posts and ends up blowing up, me as the creator, I have exposure to the video because I got a small percentage of the video tokens by holding that creator's channel token.
Interesting. But so in your model, it's like one video equals one coin? Because right now it's just one creator equals one coin.
Oh, so the individual's videos don't have unique coins. It's only the creator coin.
Yeah, it's only one creator coin, a billion supply, and then basically you can give 0.1% for 100 videos. That's 10% of the supply, and it will be an airdrop every day. And so honestly, if you are a holder, you will gain because the ownership base just keeps growing. And that's actually quite bullish for the token to get known by so many people. And I got inspired by this because honestly, Yapster, Clout, they're about spreading ownership. An example that we all are familiar with is DGen, which is a huge, airdrop to everyone on Farcaster. So to me, it made sense to do a token that relies on airdrops. And honestly, dropping 1 million of a billion supply token is actually more of a marketing stunt than an actual. And so I just felt like it was a good idea to experiment with. It's crypto. We may change.
Do people buy the videos though, or what's the way that the creator generates income on the app outside of their own token? Or is it just swap fees and them
the
getting
creator
some
will
supply?
get swap fees on Radium probably, or Meteora. They'll get LP fees for the 10K liquidity that's there. Yep. So that's what I'm thinking. And then actually one thing that's so funny, David, you said that maybe I should do that. I don't think you even meant to ask that question, but you made me realize that maybe you can only view the videos if you hold the token. And maybe that could be a fun thing where like actually that creates easy demand, buy the tokens to access the channel. because that would be one more method to increase the ownership size. Maybe we should do that.
Why don't you take a
Have an
page
option.
from like only, maybe it's up to the creator.
Right.
It's up to the creator to have token gated videos, but then
Right.
they can also have their videos that are just like out there, getting them engagement, getting them
drops and
awareness.
stuff. Yeah.
I think like
Yeah.
one option there is like, give the option to make this exclusive content to holders. And then there's even another option, which we've thought about a little bit at Pods, is like make every post, 24 hours early, only viewable, right, by holders. And then after 24 hours, it just goes public. I think that there's some interesting
That's
stuff
cool.
there.
Yeah.
My question here, Masmej, is like, why do you think that the content creation curation problem, I guess, will be solved when you're putting in a higher threshold for content to be published? Because in my thinking, when you went through that model, if it's just DWR and TED that are the only two people to graduate, they're going to be the only videos that are on the platform. So I guess I'm curious, like, why you think the threshold is going to help with the TED problem, the TED Talk problem.
Well, so like TED and DWR, they had to create an audience on Farcaster for month and month, and it's very hard to displace them. I actually believe it is easier to graduate from a 10K pre-sale. That's my gut instinct, one. And two, like, also we had a lot of bad videos, right? It's not just we then at first it was just TED and DWR, then we switched the algo, and then it was so bad. Like, people were trying to farm the app because they thought an airdrop was coming. And so we had tons of kind of spammy videos. So that will definitely help with the spam problem. Yes, I agree. It maybe be too high of a filter, but it's an open filter. Anyone can do it. And, if you reach 10K, we make money as a business. The creator will make money as a business. So you should probably be able to post on the app. But I agree. Honestly, like, is this going to be a good algorithm? I have no clue. I think we're just going to try and just YOLO it, like most of what I'm trying to do. Like, it's really hard to know actually human behaviors live.
Can I suggest the transition as we come up on the last 15 minutes here? Because there's two other topics I want to cover on. We had Abstract launch this week. Talking about videos, we're talking about live streaming. I saw, whether or not this is factually correct, please double check me, but somewhere around like $3 million worth of tips have already been paid out to creators that are streaming on Abstract. What do we think, guys? Bullish? Bearish Abstracts? Do we like it?
Bullish. But I think that I would have expected their launch to go a little bit better. I felt like there was some issues with it in terms of like onboarding and stuff, but I think as a whole, it's probably like a slow cook, brick by brick. It's going to keep getting more and more adoption. I think the $3 million number to streamers is like pretty good, but I honestly, I would have expected more coming from Abstract and Pudgy Penguins. My hot take.
Tough crowd out here. Crowd.
Bitter Pudgy Penguin holder, Lucas.
Dude, the Pengu's going down. Pengu's tanking.
David, what do we think?
I'm bullish. I think everybody on this call would agree, like, nobody should be fading that team. They know how to build products over time. They know how to relate to consumers. I think the fact that they're focusing on live streamers on day one is super bullish. And that is, yes, they had some problems on day one, but I think that is the cleanest UX of an L2 100%. I've ever seen in my life. And maybe I've only used like probably the most popular L2s, Base, Arbitrum, Abstract, maybe a couple others, but I can't think of another L2 that has like just a clear like, hey, you're using our platform effectively. Here are apps you can use. Here's where you fund your wallet. Here's, you want to look at streamers, you want to explore apps, this is where you go. I don't think I've ever seen that. And that model makes a lot of sense. And the fact that no one else has built out that model and actually given people a playground to play in versus just being like, figure it out yourself is a huge step.
I think Base does it through like Coinbase wallet, but I really did like the fact that Abstract had a very focused discovery kind of mechanism for the applications on the network. I guess actually the better signal here is who here is going to launch a drop or some sort of product on Abstract. Do we have anyone? Coop, you doing a music NFT drop? David? What? Alex?
I want. Yes, I want to. I'm very
Where,
interested.
I
I'm
want to
trying
see
talk
where
to
your
the team.
guys' mouth is, where the money to your mouth is, where you guys actually
The
deploying
money to the
as
mouth
builders.
is? What the fuck was that?
I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying.
Put your money
your-
where your mouth is.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to
It's an
see.
expression.
Yeah.
Look at me getting these badges. Come on.
This man's badging up.
I'm a trader.
Cooper's a sucker for badges.
I love badges.
Sucker for badges.
App
I
builder.
have some. They don't. There's a couple things like they don't have third web compatibility, and we use a lot of third web contracts in Hume World. But I want to meet with their team. I think they're gonna figure it out, and I want to try some stuff out on Abstract.
Yeah, I would say like the thing that's pretty epic with Abstract is I think basically like their technical launch partner is Privy, and disclosure,
Yes.
I'm an investor in Privy. But if you enforce Privy on every app, you actually get a pretty good UX versus like if you just say like, hey, my L2 just use MetaMask and stuff, like you're like, like I love Luca. I think like the tagline, like, believe in greatness is great. Like, strive for greatness. That L2 is striving for greatness. It's like the UX bar is going to be all of this technical Privy AA stuff that makes the app work really well. And so if every app is like this, it's amazing. And the thing I would say, though, is like personally, the only thing I'm bullish on Abstract is the streaming feature. And I don't know as a consumer if I want to see this blast looking XP stuff. I just want to see the stream. I think apps.xyz should like be just Luca streaming or whoever is the biggest streamer. And the video live starts when I load the site. That would be, to me, my preferred UX. It's like, dude, if they're going to succeed, it's 100% the stream. There's Thread
totally
Guy,
agree.
Mika. They should hyper focus on this. Blast prove that incentives go only so far. Streaming really can get them far, and they should have it. The first tab should be the biggest thing on their app. That's their one differentiator. And then I appreciate the previous stuff because the UX is easy for people. But yeah, but honestly, love Luca. I think it's a like really interesting L2 launch, and yeah, it's cool.
I think let me just clarify that I do think like the crush the launch and like it was very smooth. I just think it wasn't the perfect one.
No, for sure.
There's room for improvement. It's hard to launch this shit,
Yeah, it's definitely hard. But
what I think is really interesting, it's just like the through line throughout this whole conversation. It just seems like this industry is very much like the focusing on the creator. Like the creator seems to be the heart of everything right now, or is getting more and more attention rather than like the infrastructure side. And I think that's a really kind of a nice change in the tune of the industry right now. Is it just seems very creator focused as a whole.
Yeah,
creator and memes.
I think
I would even argue that meme coins are like creators too. Like you have people that are coming up with these memes and creating these coins and
creators are memes.
And memes are
to
creators.
take the other side of that. I think the industry is very. I agree with everything you said, but I think the industry is very focused on influencer creators. I think artists. If we had somebody from like 2021 NFTs who was like a visual artist or a music artist on here, I think they would say they don't think the industry is focused on creators. And maybe what the real thing is like the industry is not focused on art right now.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I feel like the streamers are a new class of creators, and I actually think, to Alex's point, that the success of Abstract is entirely tied to the success of streamers on chain, and I think it's a fantastic bet to make.
100%.
It's differentiated. We haven't seen that before, and those content creators haven't had an opportunity to succeed. And something else is that it's not like all the creators that are on Abstract streaming right now have like creator tokens on Abstract, for better or worse. Maybe there's an argument that they should, but all of the monetization is just happening through tipping, which is frankly just like crypto's best killer feature. And so I don't know, I'm hyper bullish on the streaming side of things. I think, to Lucas's earlier question, we are working on a deployment of Coop Records to go on Abstract. A couple weeks away, maybe a month or so from now. But I think that the ability to stream, to bring distribution into your product, especially when it comes to something that is rooted in creative and entertainment, is very differentiated. And something that I'm really excited about is their governance structure, which basically rewards app builders for volume and attention that you drive on the network. So the analogy that I use here is basically Optimism Retro PGF, if it wasn't only focused on like DeFi and infrastructure and public goods, but if it was much more oriented around impressions and distribution and transactions. And I think all of the metrics that everyone on this call, I would like to say, is highly optimizing for with what we're building.
Yeah. I think, again, the biggest thing from Abstract right now is like, I think they did a really good job on the distribution side. And I think that is the name of the game for a lot of builders in the spaces. How can you get distribution and attention?
Well, I guess to even take us to one more transition here, we're just going to keep it moving, if that's cool with you guys. Any other comments on Abstract, or keep it going?
Next.
Distribution. Let's talk Venice. Let's talk Voorhees. Let's talk DeepSeek. Let's talk AI tokens. I got absolutely hosed on VVV personally. Thought I was smart.
You bought the DOP? What do you do?
I mean, I bought it at like 11 bucks, I'd say. And Lucas was in the chat being like, oh, why would you buy this at 11? You're an idiot. And I was like, no, I'm up 50% for 12 hours. And I thought I was a genius because I fucking ran that thing up like crazy. And then I woke up today and I was like, jelly, fine. Boom.
Yeah, it's
you held
funny
this
actually.
token for more than 12 hours. Boom, boom.
I think what's funny is like it's actually founder influencers that are launching these coins, like the founder of Venmo, like the famous founder of Vine, the famous Eric, like crypto founder. Like it's like normal founders, it's a little harder to make through the noise of launching a company coin. But if you're actually famous, you can bank on it. It's like their own creator coins.
It's almost like Trump. It's almost like Trump made the new meta.
Yeah. So for me, I don't have any animosity towards the Venice team for their token or the valuation of the price or anything like that. I think I'm a little bit salty at the market in terms of just like how fast that thing ran up and came back down in the short term. Again, I think there is a much longer time horizon there. The reason why I top blasted so hard is that I woke up, I opened my feed and I see Jesse bull posting the shit out of it. I see base account bull posting the shit out of it. And then I see a Coinbase listing on day one of the token. And I haven't seen that before. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen a base token get listed on day one ever. And I think to me that felt like a catalyst that I expected to be different. But I think now I'm kind of just wondering, like, was that just more charades for launch day? And to Lucas's point about continued attention, what is the narrative there for continued attention now that you've had all of these big moments happen so early on in the game?
Yeah. And I also think it was really well timed with respect to DeepSeek and how that just had everyone's attention, right? And Venice pretty much provided like a privacy layer on top of DeepSeek because of the concerns with China owning it effectively. I think the biggest interesting thing for me on the Venice launch was actually like the token economics and the Ponzi kind of around it, or just what it does to inference costs, in the sense of like anytime you want to call an API on like OpenAI or something, it costs you money. Venice is allowing you to just stake tokens and actually earn a yield on it. So the inference cost actually inverses and becomes positive, or like you actually make money by using the AI, which I think is really interesting. There's maybe like a death spiral kind of like mechanism there that people should be concerned about. But other than that, I think it's a really interesting take. And yeah, Voorhees obviously been in the space forever. So we'll see where it goes.
Characters. David.
Characters. They're out there.
Son Goku.
They're out there.
I like this acquisition that I just saw on Warpcast when I opened it a minute ago. Base acquiring Spindle to help creators go viral. And when I go to Spindle's bio, it says real attribution and growth metrics for Web3. No cash for a year, but the tagline feels good.
Antonio is a legend. I know Antonio a little bit, and like I don't know if you guys know, but he was the first creator of Facebook ads with Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
He created Facebook ads.
I've heard of Facebook ads.
So like the dude invented, and because Facebook ads created every ad network on all social media, Antonio knows and created the team that made ads available online.
Look at that.
And then got canceled during COVID because he was hired at Apple. Then Apple canceled him. Apple employees canceled him because he wrote a best-selling book that was controversial. And
what was it controversial about?
You don't remember?
No.
Oh, I think so. It was a nonfiction book written like it was real, but it was not. And I think he had some derogatory comments about women in the book.
Oh, okay.
And it was a period where like culture was extremely sensitive, as we all know. And there was like a petition by Apple employees, and he literally moved his entire life to the Bay Area and then gets canceled last minute, sold his house, everything. And he's like, all right, I'm in the Bay Area. What do I do? I crushed the early internet. Now I'm going to crush the new internet. And so that's when he started a crypto company.
Sick.
And yeah, really, really legendary guy. And I think it makes sense. Probably a acqui-hire, but super talented guy. And he's basically doing what he did with Facebook ads, but on chain. Like the way to like know what drove someone to do some on-chain actions, give referrals and stuff like that. And I think the official term is attribution. So yeah, pretty cool news.
Base has been on a little acquisition spree here, no? Because he just acquired Rome like a few weeks ago, and now Spindle. I didn't even see that, so I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
Where's
I
he
think
going?
there's big companies in crypto acquiring mini apps. Like for instance, like wallets. Like a lot of founders building wallets are talented, but wallets just don't work, and so it's easy to acquire them.
Yeah. Well, I think this is really just a bigger trend of like, I think wallets, we've talked about this a few episodes, but wallets are really going to own like the end-to-end user kind of engagement. And a lot of apps are just going to be kind of native to wallets. And I think that's a really interesting mechanism. And it seems like Base is doing that with Jesse now spearheading Coinbase Wallet, and then their acquisition of Rome, which is like a browser, and now this Spindle for like an ad network. It really feels like they're building kind of like a super app wallet super app type deal with Coinbase Wallet. We'll see.
Yeah, Jesse leading the Coinbase Wallet is super bullish because there was basically two different products. There's the seed phrase product, and then the easier to use product that with AA, whatever, new tech and crypto. And so if that new team can win and gets installed on 5 million devices or like 5 million users, whatever is the number, that's hugely bullish for on-chain UX.
I mean, for us, for pods, it's been really great to get these Coinbase Wallet features. And like, not only is it mint activity, but it's actually a really high conversion of like listening activity. And it's because we're curating Coinbase related wallet or Base project related content to, on these wallets. So I think as a whole, like really interesting to see these wallets double down on their ecosystems and their applications that they're supporting.
Gentlemen, that's all the time I have today.
That's it.
Well, there's one thing you had on here, Cooper, that I want your 45-second take on. Ethereum account is back. I didn't even know this.
Oh yeah,
that was not me.
Who put that?
I got that. Well, this is effectively the Ethereum account is now active, so like add Ethereum, and it looks like Anthony Sassano creates a weekly thread now.
Let's
something
go.
along that.
Let's go.
They need it.
Ethereum
Anthony Sassano,
it's all-time highs.
Anthony
The Ethereum
Sassano,
account's
honestly,
back.
like, this guy taught me so much about Ethereum.
They need it.
Whoa.
That's
my 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I think between Luca Nets and Anthony Sassano, we have a winner for mainstream marketing, but it's still cool to see.
I also think
all I'm saying is Luca's making abstract token go up more than he's making ETH go up. That's all I'll say. Dude, it's
ETH
so funny just being on the Thread Guy stream
abstract
yesterday, and they were just talking about ETH. Oh my god, it's not looking good out there, boys.
What was the
tough out there?
What was the take? Close us out.
ETH hasn't gone up in 3 years. It's the worst coin of all time, and it's extremely washed.
It's a stable coin.
It's a stable coin.
Damn.
It's a stable coin.
Sold are the chips to the casino, and there is no casino on ETH. So
right now,
what is it for?
But honestly, I'm really bullish ETH. I feel like if ETH scales, which is going to happen very soon. I don't know if you've seen like the Paradigm partner Georgios talk about shipping faster.
Right.
And the fact that like honestly, you don't have to trust the Ethereum layer 1 researchers. You can trust the L2 teams, right? Like I don't believe the research team is going to become top tier marketers. Like it's not possible. That's not their job. But you can trust that Luca Nest is gonna hustle like crazy to get some famous people on stream and stuff. And Jesse Pollack is hustling for getting more blobs, more scale. So honestly, I feel like we're pretty close.
I'm just also really glad to hear you say that, Alex. Just how bullish you are on ETH right now. Just with everything you're doing.
Yep.
Everything that you're building. Like it's just really reassuring to hear someone like you talk about how bullish they are on ETH.
I have to say though, like because of Yapster and Cloud, like my net worth flipped on Solana, and that was like a crazy moment for me. I was like, I literally tried like Phantom and Jupiter like 3 months ago, and so yeah, definitely Solana has the most momentum right now, and I guess I'm gonna make an announcement soon on this, but yep.
All right, we'll close out with looks like people are losing faith in Vitalik, I guess.
Dripped out.
Dripped out as fuck.
Dripped
I
out.
All right,
think
guys.
my serious take here, Lucas, is that I had faith in this guy when crypto was this underground thing in 2021 and previously, when it was very off the beaten path and you were kind of, far out on the curve for holding crypto. But I think now we're at a moment in time when we need to be culturally cool and relevant and be able to relate to people. And I think that ETH's biggest problem is that it's just very out of touch with most day-to-day mainstream culture. And I think that the teams that are winning are the ones who are the most in tune with what people are doing in the real world. And so that's where my take is on the current state of ETH.
I think my take is the largest institutions in the world are going to build on ETH and not Solana, and it's coming in the next 12. This I'll call it in the next 4 years. We'll give
I
it a
won't see
nice
it ETH
long...
Denver, baby.
Next 4 years, hopefully
Damn.
one pump.
Yeah, Coop's not going
No
to
ETH
ETH Denver.
Denver.
Is that the bottom?
You guys are coming?
That could be the bottom.
No ETH Denver.
I might come.
I'm on the
I'm
fence.
starting to think I'm gonna come.
I will say that me and Coop have been to every single ETH Denver, and this is the 1 year that I'm thinking of not going. Coop is obviously not going. So maybe this is the bottom. Hopefully. We'll find
For
out.
the love of God, make it the bottom, please. I would be so happy
The
for it to be
only
the bottom.
the only major that is up today is ETH, which this cycle has usually been a bad sign. So maybe maybe things are changing.
It's up like plus 0.2%.
Yep.
I just guessed it. I don't even know.
Let's look.
Plus 2%
I just had it up.
right now.
2%.
All right, guys.
All right,
Coop's
boys.
gotta go.
Coop's
Masmej,
got to
Alex,
go.
thank you for joining in. Our first honorable guest on
Guys,
Not a
I hope I
Cartel.
can replace Adam from now on. I obviously proved I'm better.
Hey, no
I think
one
that we'll
can
let the
replace
voters
Agent
decide.
Chevy, but we'd love to have you back.
We'd love to have you
All right.
back.
Love you, boys.
We're wishing you the best of luck with your ETH app, too.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye. See you.